we decided, based on what we got through surveys, that we definitely, without a doubt, needed to have um, a support group on meditation and relaxation techniques. And we have Mr. Brian Trzaskos, which I'm hoping I pronounced the name right. Yay.
Got it, Lenise.
He's going to be leading us in all of this. And it's going to be interactive, so that's a wonderful thing. And I'm just going to get a few housekeeping things out the way real quick because I want to get into it. I'm going to be mindful of Brian's time. We have we have a couple of programs I'm going to talk to you about real quick. One is the Mega Michelle Hicks Fund for Unmet Needs. That's where any PAH patient or caregiver can apply for funds, a micro grant of $500. And this can be used for a need. You know, maybe you need your car fixed to get to the doctors. Maybe you need transportation. Maybe you need air conditioning. Maybe you need clothes for the winter. Maybe you need food. It has to be a need. And that's open on the first business day of each month. And we still are accepting applications. You can go to our website, teamphenomenalhope.org/unmet needs and find that out and information about that. We have a peer-to-peer program, which some of us have taken classes through the University of North Carolina. And if you just want to talk about what's going on in your PH world and everything is confidential, you could also find out about that on our website. We have Live, Learn, Breathe on our website, which, you know, we also encourage you to look at, especially when you're newly diagnosed, for the simple fact that this is a really strange disease and you might need help with it, or your caregiver might need help with it. We have also our, oh my gosh, Kira, help me out. I just drew a blank. Where if you know somebody who bicycles, triathlons, has a yard sale, wants to raise money for Team Phenomenal Hope, it goes directly into our Unmet Needs Fund. Then that's information for that is also on our website. I just drew a blank on the name. I've only known it for the last 5 years. I'm so sorry, but if I yell it out in the middle of the thing, you know exactly what it is. So,
are you talking about Dr. George?
Yeah, no, the program.
Oh, oh heck. Megan Hicks?
Nope.
Nope. Son of a gun. Yeah, no, not coming to mind either. Sorry.
And I know it. I just can't think of it, but I will yell it out sooner or later. But anyway, please go to our website, teamphenomenalhope.org, and you will find all our programs. And also, these support group meetings are on YouTube under our channel, Team Phenomenal Hope.
Let me be your lungs. Let me be your lungs.
Let me be your lungs. Thank you.
And you have Phenomenal Connection.
That's it. And Phenomenal Connections. That's peer-to-peer. Thank you, Tanya. Okay. I've already introduced Brian Trzaskos. And Brian, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. Would love to, Lenise. I'm so glad for being here, for being asked to be here. And Lenise, your introduction with all your housekeeping was awesome. No stress, right? We're here to let go of stress. So we're just gonna just let all that go. Any judgment around how we feel like that did or didn't come off. How about 2025? We just decide to just let things roll off. Right? That might be a good commitment to make for all of us. So again, my name is Brian Trzaskos. I am the co-founder and director of education at the Somatic Coaching Academy. I'm also the creator of the Institute for Rehabilitative Qigong and Tai Chi. About, now 12 years ago now, I had the opportunity to work with lots of folks in the pulmonary wellness community, and I created a program called Qigong for Pulmonary Health. So for those of you who are not familiar with Qigong, it's very much like Tai Chi. So think about Qigong as Tai Chi's grandmother. So I created a whole program based in Tai Chi principles, specifically for people dealing with pulmonary wellness and health issues. So I've been doing this for a little while and have met some really amazing people along the way. And so I'm really grateful to be asked to be here with all of you, specifically talking about stress management through meditation and breathing techniques. That's what we're here to kind of kick off 2025 with. And my hope for you is that you can use these techniques all the way through 2025 and beyond to help yourself live in more ease and more flow in whatever way that it is that you feel like would be the opposite of, let's say, stress, because that's kind of what we're talking about today. So the kind of what we're going to do for the next bit together is we're going to have a little conversation. I want to know a little bit about how you think about these things, a little bit about what you're already doing, and really what your questions are, which you'd really love to get out of our time together today. And then we're going to do a practice together. We're going to do a stress reduction practice together with some embodied practices, doing some breath and meditation techniques, so that you actually have some tools and skills you can take away with you today from our time together. Okay. So my first question for all of you, and please use the chat to answer our questions here, is for you, what is stress? Like, how do you define stress? What does it mean to you? So we're talking about stress management. Well, what are you managing? Like, kind of like, what is stress for you? So go ahead and take a moment and just kind of pop in the chat. What is stress for you? What does it mean?
You know what? I can't see the chat, which lovely Kira just does so much. So I'm just going to start off, and I'm also going to ask everybody, please put everything in the chat. If you are on the phone, just hold your questions to the end, and then we'll be able to ask them at the end.
Mm.
But I think for me, stress is that tightening in your body that you just feel like you cannot breathe.
Mm.
That's for me.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. And we're seeing some other responses coming here too, Lenice, very similar to what you had mentioned. Hope says unable to complete tasks. Elizabeth, tightness in chest, neck, and procrastination. And Tanya stresses a feeling of worry and anxiety. Kira also saying anxiety. What else, folks? Anybody else have a thought? What is stress for you? Unrelenting anxieties despite breathing and vagus nerve practices. Oh, great, Dorothy, so you're doing some vagus nerve practices already. That's great. Stress is believing everything you think and not being in touch with your senses. Wow, some great definitions, all of you. This is great. Too many things to do, feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, very, very good, very good. I'm loving this conversation so far. So, when we talk about stress, the way we talk about it, the way I talk about it, is that stress is a physiological experience. And many of you are pointing to that, the tightness in the chest, in the neck, the difficulty breathing. So stress is really a physiological response to a perceived challenge or a perceived threat. Like there's something going on that we feel threatened by, and our body responds by having a stress response. And that stress response includes muscle tightness, tension, our blood pressure goes up, our gut gets kind of embroiled, and something really important happens with our breathing. Our breathing gets very shallow when we experience a stress response. Our breathing gets very constricted and shallow and more rapid. There's a really interesting thing that I've discovered working in the pulmonary wellness community for a while now, is that breathing alone, like just having difficulty breathing alone, is one of the most prominent triggers of anxiety. So for people who don't have pulmonary wellness issues, let's say, so someone without a pulmonary wellness issue, if they choke on something, or if they feel tight around their neck, they experience anxiety. So simply not being able to breathe is one of the fastest correlates for creating anxiety. So people living with pulmonary wellness conditions like yourselves are always at risk and always experiencing anxiety, because breathing is so important to us being what? Alive. Right? I mean, really think about breathing is if you want to tell if someone's alive or not alive, how do you tell that? Are they breathing? I mean, it's pretty, and so when it's more difficult to breathe, anxiety really comes up. So anxiety is really prevalent and very, 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 very common for people dealing with pulmonary wellness issues. So I hear that all the time when we're talking about this. So if that's your experience, then you know what, that is that's happening, and that's very, very common for you and for these communities. So how do we approach that? Well, we have some ways that I'm gonna help you kind of process through that today, okay? Now, my next question for you is, since we're talking about meditation and breath practices, who here is currently doing or has tried to do meditation? Who here has currently or tried to do meditation? Okay, so how many of you have tried to meditate but then stopped? Okay, how many of you are currently, for those of you who are currently meditating, how successful would you say that you are at it? Like, kind of like, just pop it in the chat. Like, what's your percentage of success you feel like you're, and there's no judgment around any of this. No judgment around any of this.
You know, I admire people who can meditate. I start out okay, then I think about laundry, the shopping, cleaning the house. I get it.
Yeah, exactly, Lenny. So here's my next question for all of you. What do you think meditation is? What do you think it is? I mean, so we're trying to meditate, and maybe we feel like we're succeeding, maybe we feel like we're not, but what do you think that it is?
Kira, can you read some of the chat?
It's like, so it looks like Elizabeth is saying, it sounds like what Elizabeth is saying is something to do with concentration, like maybe being able to concentrate. I'm just extrapolating because she said it's hard to concentrate. So I'm just extrapolating that, but Elizabeth, let me know if that's accurate.
Focused breathing is what Hope says.
So Hope thinks focused breathing is meditation. Okay, that's great. Shifting to the right brain, quiet your mind, deep breathing is trying to focus, get rid of outside distractions. Sometimes as well. Yeah, so Galaxy, I'm not sure what Galaxy's, that guy Galaxy, I'm not sure what your name is, but you're also giving some examples of what you could do as a part of meditation. Tris says setting an intention to be present. Excellent. Great. So let's kind of demystify a little bit about meditation right now, because we do know in the research that when we practice meditation, by the way, we call it practicing meditation, not perfecting meditation. No one sits down to do a meditation perfection. It's a practice. So when you talk about meditation, we talk about practicing meditation, which means that there's always an opportunity to practice something. We don't have an expectation around ever perfecting it at all. It's a matter of practicing it, right? We're practicing it. And so one of the big misnomers that people think about meditation is that the goal is to stop their thinking. Right? Does anybody have that conception that's to stop their thinking? Right? Well, an interesting thing is, would you ever want your heart to stop beating? Would you ever want your lungs to stop breathing? Well, why the heck would you want your mind to stop thinking or your brain to stop thinking? That's what your brain does. Your brain thinks, your heart beats, your lungs breathe. Isn't it funny? We want our brain to stop doing what we hired it to do.
I never thought of it like that, ever.
Right? So the goal is not to stop thinking, Lenise, right? I mean, the goal is not to stop thinking, folks. That's not what the goal is. Really, when we think about meditation, I love Tris's idea of it setting an intention to be present. That's certainly a hallmark part of mindfulness meditation. There's different types of meditations. Mindfulness is really about being present in the moment, which we're going to talk just a little bit about. Now, even with mindfulness though, with the core of any meditation practice is the non-judgmental returning of our attention to a predetermined point of focus. In other words, we've decided to pay attention to something. We've decided to pay attention to our breath. We've decided to pay attention to a picture. We've decided to pay attention to an image. We've decided to pay attention to a word. We've decided to pay attention to something. And then once we start paying attention to it, what happens? Our mind wanders. because that's what our brain does. Our brain's going to do what it's going to do. So the idea isn't to stop the brain from wandering. Now, that's a result of meditation practice. That's not the point of it. That's a result of it. When, and here's the key point, when we again and again and again non-judgmentally return our attention to what we decided we were going to focus on. Non-judgmentally means lovingly and with compassion.
I'm just going to interject with a question. Unfortunately, I don't see well enough to use the chat. So,
yeah.
But so basically, if I'm understanding this, non-judgmental means that if I try to meditate and my mind wanders to something else, don't beat myself up.
Exactly.
Just return back to the meditation. Gotcha.
Yes, exactly, Lenice, exactly, Lenice. And I'll tell you when I discovered this, folks. So I started on my kind of, well, I didn't start on my meditation journey, but I got really deep into meditation about 20 years ago when I had really high blood pressure. I was diagnosed with like super high blood pressure. And thankfully, there was nothing organically going on in my body. It was just all stress. And so I started to really practice meditation. And you know what happened? It was like, because I heard that meditation was good for blood pressure. It's supposed to help lower your stress, right? You guys hear that? Okay, so I started practicing meditation and my blood pressure went up. My blood pressure actually got higher. And I was like, I am like obviously like a screw up with this. I can't do it right. Everyone else is doing it better than I'm doing it. I can't figure this out. There's something wrong with me. And the funny thing is I noticed that when I was practicing meditation, my mind would wander. That's exactly the things I would say to myself. Right. So if you were teaching someone else to meditate or do anything at all, and every time they kind of lost track of what they were doing, if we said, "What are you doing? You can't figure this out. You're dumber than anybody else I've met." What do you think is going to happen to their blood pressure? It's going to go up. And so that's what I was doing to myself. And then I realized, oh, the point isn't actually clearing my mind of thinking. The point is to be kind to myself. That's actually the whole point. The whole point is how kind can I be to myself and bring my focus back to where I decided it was going to be. That one change made my blood pressure come down below normal and lower than it had ever been in my entire life for extended periods of time. So I'm just kind of giving you guys like the really quick, like shortcut to this of meditation practice is to be non-judgmental and be kind to ourselves when our minds wander. That's the shortcut. If you really want to get the most benefit to help your body tension and your pain and your anxiety and your shortness of breath and all those types of things, that's the trick, folks. Trick is really to be kind to yourself when you redirect and bring your focus back. So how many of you would say that you're kind to yourself most of the time? Right? So a few of us maybe. Most of us weren't taught to be kind to ourselves. So anyway, so there you go. There's like we shortcut to the end of the story right there. But let's do some practices as we go forward. So here's a question for you too. Who here is doing regular breath practice? Since breath practice is part of what we're talking about. And so pop in the chat for me, what kind of breath practices are you doing? When you say regular breath practice, when I say who's doing it and you raise your hand, then what are you doing specifically? Just so I get a sense of it. Okay, it says wanting to learn more about diaphragmatic breathing. Oh, great. Hey, yeah. Then pulmonary rehab boot camp. So maybe you did some qigong with me over there too. I'm part of that program. Oh, great. Doing some chakra breathing. That's great. Excellent.
What is that? Chakra breathing.
Well, it's a whole philosophy around energy centers in the body and how we can learn to breathe through those energy centers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very cool stuff. Okay, cool, everybody. Excellent. Okay, so let's do some practices together. And one of the other hot tips I have for you to be able to meditate successfully is that preparing for meditation And when we think about meditation, we think about kind of seated meditation. Most people think about meditating as sitting on a chair, sitting on a cushion, focusing themselves. And I got to tell you, the failure rate for just trying to plop down on a cushion and start meditating is very high. So if you want to have a more successful meditation experience, what we know is if you do some things to prepare yourself for meditation, then meditation is so much easier. And the primary things we do to help prepare ourselves for meditation is to first kind of do some what we call body-centered practices to help to decrease tension in our bodies. And we typically use self-massage and movement to do that, mindful movement. And then we do some more breath-oriented practices, excuse me, and then we do some more what people might call meditation practices. So my invitation for you is to do a practice with me all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this chair out of the way, and then you can see me back in that chair back there. We'll do some things together, and you can do these things sitting or standing. It's totally up to you. I'll move back and forth towards the screen so that you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay, folks. So here's the first invitation: is to if you're sitting and you're able to sit a little more forward in your chair, there's the invitation, so that your feet are on the floor, and you can feel your feet on the floor. So you can feel your feet on the floor, and then just kind of wiggle and relax your legs a little bit. Wiggle and relax your knees. And then bring your awareness to your spine, And the idea is that what we call our pelvis is in a neutral position. So we're not arched too much and we're not sagging too much. We're kind of in the middle somewhere. And then the crown of the head is lifted up towards the sky, there's a beautiful little image that we use. Imagine if your spine was like a string of pearls being suspended from heaven. Imagine that your spine was a string of pearls being suspended from heaven. So you've got this nice long spine. So feet are on the ground, excuse me, knees are relaxed, pelvis neutral, crown of the head lifted up towards the sky. There's our basic posture for the practices that we're going to be doing together. Okay, now, folks, here's the invitation next, is rub your hands together a little bit. And we're going to do some massage on some key points in the body that really do help lung function and also help to start relaxing the body. Now, you're still sitting there. I'm gonna come a little closer so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. Now, with your hands, go ahead and do a little massage on the web space between your thumb and your index finger, right in that space. Just do a little massage in there. And as you're massaging there, you might find a little tender spot. Anybody find a tender spot in there?
There's a spot that's a little bit sore.
Yeah. Yep, there's a sore spot in there. And so just do a little massage in there and take some nice deep breaths. Just, relaxed breaths. And as we're massaging this spot is actually connected energetically up through the neck and up into the head and the jaw and into the throat. So it can help open up the breathing pathways, but also reduce a lot of tension in the neck. Okay, and then
does it matter which hand we do, or
we're gonna switch. Yep, then switch hands.
Okay.
I think as you're massaging the other side, and sometimes one side's more sore than the other side, you'll notice too. I find it really fascinating how, reflexively, lots of times our body does things in order to help us reduce stress and tension. And isn't it interesting that when they're experiencing anxiety, a lot of people do what? They wring their hands together. You ever notice that? People wring their hands. Well, that's what we're doing right here. We're just doing it with more purpose. So like wringing your hands together So that's hopefully that angle helps, Tris. Just kind of squeezing right into that web space. We're kind of just proactively kind of wringing our hands together, which helps to reduce stress and tension in the body. Okay, good. Now, as we're wringing our hands and doing a little massage, do a little rubbing again. And then walk one hand up to your shoulder, up to one of the shoulders. And on the front of the shoulder, out here towards on the end of the collarbone, out on the shoulder, there's a little divot right there. And do a little massage in that divot. And you can do both at the same time if you want to, like that. This is a point called lung 1. It's lung 1 acupressure point. So it helps to support lung function. So as we're just doing some gentle massage in this area, and you're just noticing you're breathing a little bit, do a sigh, like an audible sigh. It's an interesting, also, we sigh when we start to feel stressed, so let's just do it anyway. Good. And then just drop one arm down. And then just do a little, what we call a little sweep down that arm. A little sweep all the way down to the thumb. And this sweeping action is sweeping along the lung meridian. So we're just doing this nice, gentle little sweeping. So feel that sweeping. Good, let's go the other side now. Just a nice little sweeping. And feel what it feels like to have your hand on your shoulder and on your arm, just gently stroking down the arm, almost like the way that you would, if you have a pet, maybe you have a cat or you have a dog friend that you really, really like, or maybe you have a grandchild or a child that, when you rub their back or rub their head, like how do you touch them? And think about kind of just like touching yourself that way, touching your own arm with that gentleness, just sweeping it.
Now, I do have a question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between this and getting a massage?
Well, not much, first of all. One difference is that someone who learns to be a massage therapist like has all kinds of education around where to touch and how hard and all that kind of stuff. But what they don't have is that you have your own experience of how hard you like to be touched or how light or whatever it is. But you get the same effects actually. So you can save a lot of money and time by doing a little bit of your own self massage. You can save $85 or something like that. So whatever it is. Okay, so now bring your hands right down to a spot right on the middle of your sternum. And just do a little massage in this spot. This spot is called the Sea of Tranquility. So I like to do a little massage here. And then just hold for a moment and just do a gentle pressing directly inward. And a nice long sigh. Oftentimes when we do this with people, it just says it helps them feel more peaceful to do that. Right? Sea of Tranquility point.
They say that touch is one of the things that gives people, like a good hug,
Yeah.
gives people a lot of comfort.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, good. So far we've done some points. We've done these lung points, right? Just to review really quick, we've done these lung points. Oh, we did those hand points. We did a little brushing and stroking down the lung meridian. How much we've done already. Wow. We've done a little bit of massage on the Sea of Tranquility point. Nice long sighs. Okay, now got another one for you here. That's one of my, I'm gonna just tip this up a little bit so maybe you can tell if you can see me. So now, friends, can you see the back of my neck, hopefully? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn my head to the left. Turn my head to the left. And my right hand, bring your right hand right up across your neck, kind of like the base of your skull. And then take your fingers and just gently allow your fingers to sink into the muscles on your neck. Then just slowly turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the right and just drag those fingers along the muscles all the way back to the right. So you're just doing a nice neck massage. Okay, now we're looking at the right. So bring your left hand up. Let your left hand sink into the neck muscles. And then turn your head and look back to the left. Nice long sigh. Good, let's do that one more time. Right hand across the neck. Long sigh. Massaging along the neck, just dragging the fingertips as head turns to the right. And then left hand, fingertips sinking in, turning head back to the left. All right, how we doing, friends?
Yeah, pretty good. Well, okay, I'm speaking for me. Pretty good.
Feeling all right? Feeling all right on the neck? Okay, good.
I think
All
my
right.
neck was stiff.
Yeah, it can get that way from tight breathing activates all those accessory muscles in the neck. So when we're doing that neck massage, we're helping to release all that tension that happens in those accessory breathing muscles. Okay, one more, actually, so one more we can do for this is if you take one hand and put it on your opposite shoulder, and then you can use this hand just underneath your elbow to support it. You can just take that hand and just slowly just drag it down across kind of the side and the base of your neck there. And oftentimes there's all those tight accessory breathing muscles in there.
I think that one of the problems I'm having is I'm forgetting to breathe.
Yeah, nice sigh. So the answer for that, Lenise, is just do nice long audible sighing.
Okay.
Like that. I don't know if you've heard, I've done about 20 of those so far here. Good, and then just try the other side. Again, what if you were rubbing the neck of another creature that you really cared about? How would you do that? You know, maybe it's a four-legged friend, maybe it's a two-legged friend. I don't know. Just that nice, just releasing along the neck. Okay, great. Okay, and then just relax and do just a little wiggle and just move your neck in whatever way feels good. Does anybody feel a little warmer, a little less tension, a little looser up around those areas? Yeah, right? Okay, cool. All right, so let's just sit for a moment and once again, feel your feet on the ground and relax your legs, relax your knees. I'm just going to tip that down a little bit just so you can see all of me. Have that nice neutral pelvis, crown of the head lifted up towards the sky, okay? And we're just gonna do just a little bit of movement now. I'm gonna go to the side here, excuse me, from the side, just a little movement. We do a little movement called what we call flowing motion. And so it's just a simple rocking back and forth to start with. So if you can, just start rocking back and forth in your chair just a bit. And then the arms come up just a little bit, up never higher than the shoulders. And then they come back down again. Arms just lift up about to the shoulders and then come back down again. And the movement is really, really easy and simple. And how relaxed can you make the movement? How relaxed can you make it?
Why no higher than the shoulders?
Yep, no higher than the shoulders.
Why is
And because it's less stressful,
Ah,
right? As soon as we reach above the shoulders, we create more stress again in the neck, which we just relaxed. So nice and easy. Okay, now let's coordinate the breathing. So it goes like this. Inhale as the hands come up. Exhale as the hands come down. Think inhale as the hands come up. And exhale as the hands come down. Now, sometimes if your breath is really shallow, then you need to take a couple of breaths in each direction. Or just need to go at a different pace than I'm going at. You might need to go just a little bit faster. Either way is okay. The idea is just to pay attention to coordinating your breath and the movement. Coordinate the breath. So inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down. And focus your awareness on that. Feel what it feels like to inhale on the way up and exhale on the way down. Moving easily and gently. Maybe even like imagining that you're swimming in a warm pool. Like maybe even swimming if you've ever been down to the Caribbean and you've got that crystal blue, clear, 80-degree water. Maybe it's like you're just moving and floating in that clear water. So your muscles can relax. Inhale up and exhale down. Okay, good. And take a little break. How we doing, folks? Doing okay? All right, good. Let's just do another coordinated movement. So this is pretty simple. Hands, like you're doing a little scooping motion, and hands, fingertips come together like this. And then they turn over, palms up, and then we just do just little, oh, look, I got hearts coming out on my Zoom screen. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Okay, so hands come up, and then palms turn away, and then up and around. But notice I'm not really reaching like very high. Just a gentle movement, up, out, and around. Again, like you're swimming and floating. All right, here's the breath coordination. Inhale up, exhale, down and around. Inhale up, exhale, down and around. Just pay attention to that coordination of the breath and also to what it feels like to move in really gentle ways. Just like you're floating and swimming. Good. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale down and around. And then just take a break for a moment and place your hands on your knees and just feel into your body and notice any sensations that you have in your body. Any sensations from moving your arms?
It's a very peaceful, calming.
Yeah. Yes. And most people don't realize that this is actually, you're actually doing what we call a moving meditation. Because we're coming back and paying attention to something. So you're actually doing meditation right now by moving like this. Okay, let's just do one more movement. One more movement. So for this one, the palms just face towards your heart. Palms face towards your heart. And the movement's pretty simple. Hands go to the front and then open to the side. Heart opens and then hands come together like we're gathering something and bringing it back to the heart. Just like that. Great. So inhale, opening. Exhale. Nice and easy. Inhale and opening. And exhale. Good. Inhale and opening. And exhale. Good. And then just take a little break again. And hands can sit on your knees. Just notice for a moment how you're breathing without trying to change it. Just notice how you're breathing without trying to change anything. Doesn't matter the pace or the depth or the volume or whatever. Just notice how you're breathing. It's a very powerful breath witnessing practice. We just call it witnessing the breath. Just notice that your breath, if you don't try to change your breathing, it'll just keep breathing. Right? Your body will keep breathing. So is there value in at times changing how the breath works? Sure. There's also great value in just noticing how the body breathes all by itself. And also recognizing that however the body is breathing right now, whatever the pace or rate or depth, we can just notice that breathing and then send a little message to our body and say, hey, body, I know you are doing the absolute best you can. I know sometimes we're in a tough spot with our breath. Sometimes it's hard to work together with our breathing, but I know that you're doing the best you can. It's like thank your lungs and thank your heart for doing the best that they can do right now. And just notice them. Okay, now we'll practice a little what we call abdominal breathing or two-part breathing. So for some folks, this may be challenging. The idea is to first just notice your exhalation. Just notice your exhalation and notice whatever depth naturally that your exhale is. Whatever it is, whatever it is, it's perfect. It's great. So just notice whatever depth your exhalation is. And on your next exhale, just nudge your exhalation just a little further. Just no stress. Just nudge it just a little bit more. Not a lot more, just a little more. And then see what happens on your inhale. Oftentimes when we nudge our exhale just a little more, our exhale gets just a little more. We're just talking about little bits at a time here. And on your next exhale again, just exhale and nudge it just a little more. And as you're nudging it just a little more, feel your abdominals contract just a little bit as you're pushing a little more breath out. And then relax your abdominals when the in-breath comes. And you don't have to do this on every breath. You might just try one and then let your body breathe itself a couple of times. And when you feel like you're able to do it again, nudge that exhale just a little more. Contract your abdominals just a little bit more. Relax your abdominals just a little more. And let the inhale return on its own. So we're not trying to take a bigger breath. We're simply inviting a little more exhale by contracting the abdominals and then relaxing the abdominals. Good, and then one more time. Nudge that exhale just a little further. And then relax the abdominals and let the breath come back in. Good, and then just let your breath do whatever it's going to do. And now we'll do just a little bit of meditation. Now, there are lots of different sorts of meditation. Some people really like doing guided meditations, and those can be really, really great. And, guided meditations tend to pull us out of the present moment experience in hopes that when we come back to the present moment after the guided meditation, the present moment doesn't feel as distressing. So guided meditations can be really wonderful. And also, it's very powerful to do what we call mindfulness meditations, which keep us in the present moment. We let go of the past and let go of the future, and we stay right here in the now. One of my favorite kind of mindfulness practices to stay in the now is just a very simple body scan. So feel your feet on the ground and relax your body into whatever chair that you're sitting in. Allow yourself to feel your bottom on the chair and allow yourself to feel the back support against your back. That might mean that if you've been on the front of your chair to sit back just a bit. We'll just start off by noticing what it feels like in your feet. Now your feet may feel all sorts of things. They may feel cold, they may feel hot. They may feel tight, they may feel loose. I don't know what it's going to feel like for you. And the idea is that whatever they feel like, we just notice them, be present with those sensations, watch them without judgment. And then bring your awareness to your legs below your knees, like your calf and your shin areas. Just notice what you feel. You may notice the feeling of your clothes on your legs. They may feel numb. They may feel sore. They may feel light. Whatever sensations, just notice those sensations. Bring your awareness up to your thighs now, up to your thighs. Just maybe notice the contact of your thighs on the chair and invite your body to let go of any tension so that your legs sink further into the support of the chair. Just letting your body sink into the chair. And feel your hips and your bottom sink into the chair. Bring your awareness to your abdomen and to your low back. These can be areas that sometimes people have low back tension or, their tummies don't always feel great. Just notice what you notice. And if any area that we are scanning through feels, a little distressing, just either go back to an area that felt good or better, or we'll just keep moving along. Notice sensations in your upper back. Notice the sensations in your chest. Feel the sensations of your breathing. Can you notice the beating of your heart? Bring your awareness now up to your neck and to your shoulders. Just notice your neck and your shoulders, how they feel right now, right here. Notice sensations in your arms and your forearms and your hands. Feel your hands just resting on your legs, letting go of any tension in your arms. They're heavy. Notice the sensations in your neck and in your jaw and in your tongue and your ears and nose and eyes and scalp, even the top of your head. And now, like a nice warm shower starting at the top of your head, feel a wave of relaxation. Just like a nice warm shower, a wave of relaxation starting at the crown of your head. And then flowing down past your eyes, past your ears, past your nose and mouth. Wave of relaxation pouring past your neck and throat, off your shoulders, down your chest and upper back. Wave of relaxation down your arms and forearms, all the way to your hands. This wave of relaxation down your chest and upper back to your lower back and abdomen, past your buttocks and pelvis, down your thighs, down your knees, down your legs, all the way down to your feet. And just allow your body to be heavy in the chair, letting the chair hold you, letting the chair support you, releasing any tension here, right now. Just noticing any sensations of relaxation and release of tension. All right, friends, when you're ready, you can rub your hands together just a little bit. And then just for a moment, place your hands over any part of your body that you'd like to send some love and appreciation to. So maybe it's your lungs and your heart. Just hold your hand over your lungs and heart. Maybe it's your low back. Maybe got some low back stuff happening. Maybe it's your abdomen, wherever it is. Just for a moment, hold your hands over the body part that need a little more love. And then just send a little love to those parts. Thank you, heart and lung. Yeah. And then once again, rub hands together. And it's sometimes fun to just do a little face massage as we come back to our group Zoom. And you can just do a little face massage and a little scalp or head massage and move your body in whatever way feels good for you.
My glory, I almost went to sleep.
All right, friends. So that was just about 30 minutes. We have a little 30-minute practice that you just did, and that was meditation. And we did, so did that feel more successful to you from a meditation standpoint? So for any of you who are like, I don't always feel successful meditating, you just did that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually what we call our core centering technique. At the Somatic Coaching Academy, we have a training program. We actually train practitioners to do that method with their students and with their clients, because we found that method in particular helps people so much get into a more balanced and relaxed and centered state. So I'm glad that you had that experience too.
That is really, really was amazing. Honestly, I felt like I almost went to sleep, which would have been like really tacky because of the reader. But I was totally zoned out. And you know, you said something. You said to relax. And I didn't realize until we were going through it top to bottom how stiff I was in the chair.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, wow, that was awesome.
Yes,
Yes,
that was
that
awesome.
was so awesome. And we have seen so much in the chat. Brian being, I'm looking at the clock, being mindful of your time. Does anyone have something to say, like real quick? Don't draw it out because the man has a job. We can't hold him, and we want everybody to have a time to say something. Okay, and see, that's a great suggestion, and we're going to have, at the end of the session, we're going to have a suggestion thing. So please fill that out and please add that to it. Thank you for that comment.
Yeah, the
Anybody
survey is
else?
really important for people to answer. That way we can get some feedback
Yes.
on what you think would happen more. And plus, one of the great things about having this recorded is you can also go back to the YouTube channel and check it out and rewatch this and fast forward, go through to just the specific meditation. So you can actually do that yourself every week. I bookmark it as a favorite.
There you go. Anybody else?
Thanks.
Let me see me. I act like I did it. Okay, yay. I'm so glad you pleased. I'm so glad. This was really, I didn't think about the laundry. I didn't think about the cleaning. That was really, I never thought I could do it, quite frankly. I never thought I could do it. Anybody else?
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm glad that was helpful to you.
Absolutely. Okay, before we, yeah, oh, I heard something, somebody.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad it was helpful.
That was fabulous. Anybody else have a comment? And we ask that you please, you know, fill out the paper afterward and give us ideas. And that way we can, because this is your community and we want you to tell us what you want, really. Look on our website for our next meeting, which comes up in March. And Tanya, am I correct? We have all our meetings listed on the website?
Yes, they're not up yet, but our next meeting will be the second Wednesday in March.
Okay.
And
We're, oh my gosh, I seriously, thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate it. I'm just shocked. Really?
It was a great way to start out the new year.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can find us at the somaticcoachingacademy.com.
But I think one of the things that I noticed, like was previously said, I didn't feel like I was getting out of it. And that to me, and our next support group meeting will be second Wednesday in March, which I believe is the
I put it in the chat.
oh, okay. And it's going to be on physical intimacy with pH. It's a subject that is not usually talked about, but it's a subject that we got responses on. And it really is an important thing, you know, for a lot of us. Some of us. Some of us are retired. But for the rest of y'all, it's it's really important. So, and we're going to have Jordan Rice, who is Dr. Patty George's nurse, and Jordan is a phenomenal woman. And really, I hope that you will sign up for it. And Happy New Year to everybody. And oh my goodness, thank you so much, Brian. This was awesome. I
Yes,
never
that was
thought I could do
phenomenal.
it.
Thank you so much, Brian.
You got it,
Yes.
friends. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for inviting me and welcoming me into your community. And best wishes for a relaxing and empowering new year for you all. So thanks, everybody.
Everybody, thank you so, so much. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all of you who practice and have been practicing for years. Wow, you got my respect. This is really a wonderful thing, and I'm glad I heard that people do practice it, and it has encouraged me.